Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A former city councilman is charged in an alleged dirty work for hire plot involving a gun and drugs.
Kamala Harris comes to Michigan and talks about how the Democratic ticket will try to connect with voters here.
And a life cut tragically short by a hit and run. Tonight, family members want everyone to know just how hard this young man fought just to be able to go to work. The victim of that hit and run in St. Clair Shores, just 26 years old and looking forward to an upcoming birthday.
Zach Morissette was also a cancer survivor, having beaten the disease not once, but would you believe 3 times. Police are trying to learn who hit Zach in a construction zone along I-94. Priya Mann spoke with Zach's family members about the inspirational life he lived.
Zach Morissette would have turned 27 next month. An impressive feat in and of itself, considering he survived cancer 3 times as a child. But on Monday, he lost his life on I-94 when a driver hit him and took off.
He was a true, genuine good guy and family man. He was the best guy I knew.
Zach Morissette's family spoke to Local 4 on their way to the medical examiner's office. They wanted people to know how many lives were forever changed by the selfish actions of a single driver.
He'll never know the void and the heartache that he's caused my family, and we'll never get over this.
His family says Zach loved his niece and nephews, was a family guy, and beat cancer 3 times as a child.
My brother had to fight his whole life. He was finally happy working for the county, and for this guy to just hit him and just keep going and not even have the decency to stop, it's just despicable.
Zach worked for the Department of Roads in Macomb County. The Chesterfield man was doing road work on eastbound I-94 near 9 Mile in St. Clair Shores when he was hit and killed.
I would just say do the right thing and turn yourself in, and imagine if your family was in the situation that my family's in.
The hit-and-run driver struck Zach around 3 Monday afternoon, shutting down I-94 for hours. MSP says since the crash, they've received a ton of tips. They'll continue to canvass the neighborhood as the crash reconstruction unit investigates.
I just want him to know what he took from me and my kids and my family and my parents.
And anyone with information is urged to call Michigan State Police. In St. Clair Shores, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, Priya. The family says Zach was diagnosed with leukemia when he was just 6 years old. The cancer returned when he was 8 and then again when he was 13. Family says doctors had recently given him, though, the all clear and that he was cancer-free.
Awful. A former City of Wayne councilman is charged in a plot to plant false evidence in the car of a city worker. The Wayne County prosecutor says Christopher Sanders hatched a plot involving a gun, drugs, and a fake case of road rage. Larry Spruill is live with what we know in this case. Larry, good evening.
Good evening, Kimberly. It's really something you don't hear from when it comes to somebody elected to office. I got to tell you, the details of this case is quite interesting. Tuesday night, this man, former City of Wayne council member, 51-year-old James Sanders, is in trouble for his connection with planting a starter pistol and fake drugs inside of a city employee's car. Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy's office said former city council member Christopher Sanders paid 28-year-old Jimmy Lee Chandler to break into the employee's car and plant a starter pistol and fake drugs inside of her car without her knowing it. Police said after the employee drove off, Sanders called 911 to report a false road rage incident and identified her car. She was not stopped by police, but when she found the pistol and fake drugs in her glove box, she called Wayne police. Michigan State Police later identified and arrested the two, both charged with false report of a felony, conspiracy to commit false report of a felony, and attempted false report of a felony. Local 4 stopped by Sanders' home Tuesday. He did not answer. And we know that Sanders has a $10,000 bond. Chandler got a $1,000 bond. They're both due back in court on October the 2nd. We're live tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
So, Larry, if you said this allegedly happened back in 2017, why are charges just now coming out in 2020?
Yeah, so, Kimberly, according to the prosecutor's office, they said they just got this case back in March, and everything is just now going through the court system now, Kimberly.
Because of the coronavirus, I guess, too, held it up if it was marked. Okay, Larry, we appreciate it.
Let's turn our attention to Decision 2020. Senator Kamala Harris campaigning in Detroit tonight. Outside Headliners Barbershop on the west side. She participated in a roundtable conversation with a group of black men. Inside, she spoke with our Rhonda Walker about the goal of earning Michiganders' support.
The path to victory runs through Michigan. There is no question about that. And so we are spending time here, and in particular to come to Flint and Detroit. And we are talking with Michiganders about the variety of issues that are affecting folks, from the tragedy of COVID and what that has meant in terms of deaths, in terms of illness, but also in terms of small businesses like this one and so many others that have been so damaged and some permanently.
Your stops were Flint and also Detroit, predominantly black cities. Is there a specific focus on the black voter here in Michigan?
Oh, well, no, we're focusing on all voters, but let's be clear that when we are looking at issues like, let's say, COVID, for example, there has been a disproportionate impact to black communities when you know that nationally it is the case that black folks are 3 times more likely to contract COVID and twice as likely to die from it. I looked at the numbers in terms of the businesses, the small businesses, restaurants that received the benefit of the PPP in Michigan, and only 1 black restaurant received it of the hundreds of others that received it. So Joe and I feel very strongly that you have to speak truth. You cannot deny fact. And where there are disparities, they need to be addressed. The President of the United States should have as their #1 sense of responsibility and duty to concern themselves with keeping the American people safe. This president has failed to do that job.
You said the path to the White House for the Biden-Harris ticket is to win Michigan. In 2016, Hillary Clinton lost in Michigan by about 10,000 votes. So what is the strategy to win?
To earn every vote. I am here to listen. I am here to respond to the needs of the folks who are here.
What's your biggest concern in terms of beating Donald Trump? This final 6 weeks, what keeps you up at night?
I want to make sure everybody votes, and that they vote early, whoever you vote for.
In fact, she's talking with some Detroit voters right now. Coming up tonight at 11, we are going to talk more about if Joe Biden is elected, what is their top priority to combat the COVID-19 pandemic nationally. And then tomorrow morning on Local 4 News at 6, we're going to talk about the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and as senator, what Senator Harris's role is going to be in vetting the nominee, and also her biggest concerns of doing it before the election in November. I'm Rhonda Walker. Back to you.
All right, Rhonda. Earlier today, Senator Harris spent time campaigning in Flint, listening to the concerns of people there who, of course, are still dealing with the fallout from the water crisis. We spoke with the Trump campaign's national press secretary, who believes the people of Flint have been helped by the president's economic policies.
This president created an economy that helped all people around this country, regardless of race, religion, color, or creed, and Flint is no different. We saw more jobs in this country than there were people to fill them, tax cuts where 80% of the people got more money in their pockets, a soaring stock market, influx of jobs, African-American, Asian-American, Hispanic-American, women employed at record numbers. So when you take a look at the two men, it's pretty clear to see one person has stood up for the American worker, one person hasn't.
On the subject of social justice, Gidley says Americans can expect, quote, a big speech from the president soon, focusing on healing and unity.
All right, turning now to coronavirus and its impact on Michigan and the nation as a whole. Today's numbers from the state are slightly lower than we've been seeing. There are 504 new cases of COVID in Michigan, and sadly, 15 more people in our state have passed away from the virus. Nationally, a grim milestone. Johns Hopkins University confirming 200,000 Americans have died from COVID since the pandemic began. And as we mentioned at 5, the Centers for Disease Control is offering its first guidance on Halloween and other fall holidays. The CDC says door-to-door trick-or-treating is discouraged, along with costumes with masks and Halloween parties, which may spread the virus. The agency lists the risks of several Halloween activities, You can find that on the coronavirus page of our website, clickondetroit.com. And fall is officially here, and that means, among other things, winter is coming. And that's a looming problem for local eateries that have been seating people outdoors but won't be able to do so when the colder temperatures arrive. So, what are they going to do? Our Kim DeGiulio spoke with some restaurant owners about their plans for the colder days of fall and winter.
Today is a perfect example of a great day to dine outdoors, which many people prefer to do in this era of COVID-19. But here in Michigan, we all know that days like this are numbered, and soon dining outdoors won't be as comfortable. Mudgie's Deli and Wine Shop opened in Corktown in 2008.
That was right at the beginning of the recession. So I learned a lot on how to adapt and to be lean.
Owner Greg Mudge is adapting again, this time for the pandemic, building a walk-up carry-out window and expanding his outdoor seating.
That's kind of been a lifeline in a big way, was having the street available as well, because you can double your seating.
Just down the street at Batch Brewing Company.
This is the classic, COVID shuffle, right? The two-step pivot.
They transformed their parking lot into an outdoor beer garden.
Giving up the parking lot, it was an easy decision because we needed to come up with something.
Batch and Mudgie's hope through the winter months their customers will take advantage of carryout.
Do that online order, do a pickup order, do curbside delivery.
They also hope their customers are more tolerant of colder temperatures.
We're going to try to drag the patios out as long as we possibly can too, with having some fire out on the street.
We just pulled a permit to run gas out here. We're going to put a couple of big tube heaters underneath it, and then we're going to partially enclose it. So there's still going to be plenty of air circulating, keeping people safe, but we're going to try and shield people from harsh wind of winter blowing through or any precipitation.
Each owner is optimistic, but they're going to need our help.
If we want to see these businesses next year, we need to support them this year.
Greg Mudge is also encouraging his customers to extend patio season. He says, BYOB, bring your own blanket and bundle up. In Corktown, I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
All right, Kim. Troy police need your help getting the suspects in a restaurant robbery off the streets. Happened just after closing Monday night at the Chipotle on Crooks Road. Police say two masked men, one of them with a gun, approached a worker taking the trash out. They say the pair ordered him back inside and then demanded money. Now, no one was hurt and no customers were inside at the time, but if you recognize anything from these pictures, you're asked to contact police right away.
All right, well, fall is off to quite a summery start. Let's check in with Ben.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, we've had very few problems here in the last couple of days, and the impacts are going to be low at least through Saturday. However, once we get past that, we've got a couple bumps in the road, and we'll look at those next.
New research suggests the time of year that a baby is born may impact the risk for allergies and asthma. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, which time of year carries the biggest risk and how it could be connected.